everybody. Welcome to the Positively Dizzy Phone-In Show. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, your host and the author of the Positively Dizzy book series, From Where This Show Comes From. Just want to welcome my Twitch followers, my Facebook followers. I see Michael, Donna, Joe, Stephen, and Michelle on. Thank you for joining me tonight, you guys. We've got a really interesting show lined up that I'll talk a little bit more in a moment about. First, I just wanted to tell all the East Coasters in Pennsylvania area about an amazing, fun Disney convention, brand new Disney convention with lots of activities for the family, photo ops, Disney panels, and I'll be speaking there as well. Lots of Disney Anna memorabilia and all sorts of vendors there. Allentown, Pennsylvania is the place to be August 10th. So I hope you can make it. You can check it at disneyfandom.com for tickets. I also want to say a special thank you to my sponsor, Michelle McKeown over at Years of Experience. If you guys want a terrific time planned for your Disney vacation and have texting access to your vacation planner, Michelle is the one to book with, and she can be reached at mmckeown at themouseexperts.com, or you can give her a call 732-735-1779. And she actually just booked our family's very first vacation together at Disneyland that we will be heading out to in a couple of weeks. So I'm pretty excited about that. And she specializes in concierge military families as well as special needs. And she will actually be one of our guests on the show a little bit later on to share what it exactly means to be a vacation planner that works with, has special needs experience and specializes in that. Anyways, just want to say hello to Lance as well. And hello to Corrine, who has joined us tonight. So I don't know about you guys, what kind of weather you're having here, but it is really gorgeous in Seattle. And I had to laugh a little bit because my husband's always finding these little things for me. And today he gave me this little surprise, and I have to show you. My dogs were going to go after it like crazy. But what it is, if you can get a load of this, I don't know. Can you guys guess what this is? Because I wasn't too sure what it was until I actually read the package. But actually, it's it's a Chewbacca seatbelt cover because I love Chewbacca. He gives the best hugs, doesn't he? And kind of to keep with my Star Wars theme in my life, my husband got these for me today. I thought they were absolutely just hilarious. Welcome, Kim. Thank you for joining us tonight as well. So it was interesting. Yesterday, there was different people tagging me because they know I like Donald Duck. I mean, Mickey's got my heart, but Donald Duck is my guy. And that's where I'm kind of wearing my Donald Duck outfit today. But anyways, everybody was saying it was his birthday, his 85th birthday. Actually, it was the 85th year of his debut. It wasn't his birthday yesterday. His birthday in actuality was Friday, March 13th, 1934. And the funny thing about it is they say that he was born on the Friday on the 13th, which means kind of that's the reason behind all his kind of bad luck in that. But I really love Donald Duck. I just love what he just gets himself into these crazy situations. And most of the time it's not his fault. He has a good heart. But his middle name. Do you guys know his middle name? I'll give you a moment to see if you guys know Donald Duck's middle name, because I, as a huge Donald Duck lover, I sort of forgot about it. It's a very odd name. Hi, Diane. Welcome to the show. Anyways, so Donald's middle name is Fauntleroy, Donald Fauntleroy Duck. And we don't hear it very often, and I'm thinking it would probably be a mouthful for anybody to say it. But did you know that he actually has a twin sister? Originally, Donald Duck's cousin was named Dumbella, or Della for short. I cannot imagine a character being called Dumbella. That would not be really great. So they actually changed it to Della, changed her into Donald's twin sister, and she is the mother of Huey, Dewey, and Louie. So we don't really see Della very often. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I would have seen her, the mother of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, but I just thought that was kind of fun. And something that also is kind of interesting. So just south of me is Oregon, and the University of Oregon Ducks, their mascot is actually Donald Duck, and it's the very first time. They're the very first American university to ever have a trademark mascot as their mascot. So, we've all heard about the Oregon Ducks, but it's really cool. It was just like that was the very first time. And I think the only American university that has that. Anyway, so this whole June 9th thing, Donald Duck made his debut June 9th in a little film called The Wise Little Hens, which was kind of a take on the Little Red Hen. And so it wasn't actually his birthday, but he made his debut. And something that I found interesting too is so March 13th, his Friday, March 13th birthday. March 13th is also the anniversary of Walt Disney and Lillian Disney's wedding. So I just thought that was kind of fun. They got married on a March 13th as well. So, some Jenny, who's just joined me. Hello, Jenny. So to watch the new DuckTales, Della is there. You know what, Della? I will definitely check that out because something I hear about, DuckTales, and I know one of the animators that has done work on it, but I really haven't followed it just because you kind of get busy into your life, and my kids are older now. Not that we don't like animations, but it's not something that I turn to. So I'm definitely going to check that out because I think there's new DuckTales out as well. Just welcome to Father George and to Chris and to my husband. And I just have to say, time goes by so fast, doesn't it? I always kind of realize that, once you hit high school and those summers did not seem to be going on forever as they did when you're in elementary, junior high. And why I'm saying that is it was actually Father George and I joined 250 other people on a Disney cruise to Alaska. And it was it was a year ago, and a week from now that we actually embarked on that amazing Alaska tour. And it would have been a year ago that he actually came out to visit us in Seattle, and we had the good fortune to show him all around. So I just kind of remembering that, it just is so fun. And my friend actually is sailing up there in Alaska and said she had little glacier ice cubes in their beverages. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Anyways, quite nice to see. Love DuckTales. Yeah, I've got to definitely check that out. Diane says her son grew up with the original DuckTales and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and Gummy Bears. Yeah, those are so good. I remember going to the movies in the theater, and I remember, and I'm sure you guys do too, years ago, all the movies, the Disney movies, you would always see a little cartoon before the film. Remember Goofy? I think there was like Driving School, something reminds me about that. And Donald Duck was in it, but you'd have the Fab Five, which are still, I have to say, I mean, I love all the characters, don't get me wrong, but it's those Fab Five that I absolutely adore and will always be. I'm kind of a classic Disney girl. But anyways, so tonight, you guys, I have some really amazing moms. Now, we know that raising children I have to say, parenting is the hardest job in the world. And when you have children that require special attention, something that I have to tell you is that children on the autism spectrum, they all have the same desires and needs as any other child, any other person. We all just want to have fun. We want to be loved. We want to be feeling safe. And, we want to be happy and we want to enjoy our vacations. And, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I've been to the parks in the middle of the summer and it's pretty intense heat for even myself. And, with the crowds and the stimulation. So just like us, they need a break from that too. And not only those on the autism spectrum, but everybody does. But it is a little bit different. And I'm just very delighted to have my first guest on who's actually had over 20 years of experience with having a child on the autism spectrum. And I'm going to be welcoming Diane on the show in a moment. So we're just ringing through to her now. Hello.
Hello, Kimberly.
Hi, Diane. How are you tonight?
I'm great, thanks.
Oh, that's so good. I was just telling the audience that you have over 20 years of experience with your son named Chance that you have been bringing to the parks. And when did you start bringing him to the parks, Diane? Just for the audience sake.
I looked it up, and it was 1998.
1998. So how old
Yes.
was Chance at that time?
8.5, 9.
Okay.
And we used to compete at Disney's Wide World of Sport every fall in Taekwondo competition. So that's how we started going every October.
Oh, wow.
And it's still our favorite time of the year to go.
Yeah, it is lovely there at that time. It's not overly hot and overly crowded. Now, Chance is 30 years old. I just want to tell people that Chance is now 30 years old, and Diane has some really interesting tips. And then we're going to share with you how Diane came up with the idea to engage Chance as an adult in the park and share about people that need some special extra attention. These sort of they call it a hidden disability, I think, Diane. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, because it's not obvious to everybody,
right?
Until someone has a meltdown or something.
Right? Yeah, yeah. We've all seen people, whether they're on the autism spectrum or not, having meltdowns. So you never know, somebody that needs extra. So please, Diane, tell us some of your tips. I mean, you are one of the experts in the area, I would suppose right now, So go ahead. Tell us things you have learned over the years that you can share.
Okay. When we started going, they still had the old GAC pass, guest assistance pass. In the first years we went, there was no accommodations that we knew of at all. So that was interesting because my son was about 8 years old and still hadn't developed the social skills, or it could be very overwhelming, but Disney can be overwhelming for anyone.
Right. Yes.
So I can still remember the days, and actually we had been to Disneyland a couple of times when he was even younger, and I can still remember him going to Goodie's Kitchen at Disneyland and ducking under the table with his aunt and his cousin with us, and that was an experience. But he grew up a Disney lover. He had no choice. I'm a Disney lover. He was born across the street from Disney Studios, so there you go.
Oh, okay.
And so what I found through the years was that Disney became his very safe place. His social skills developed more there, his linguistic skills, his ability to handle situations. Now, some autistic kids are very frightened or can't handle noise. That was never really a problem for Chance. His biggest issue was crowds. And I actually have seen my son almost vibrate when things got too crowded. So one of the tips that I would give parents is seek out the quiet places and take the time to recharge, refuel, and it's really odd, but one of our favorite quiet places is the second floor of the Columbia Harbor House in Magic Kingdom. It always worked for us.
Yeah, makes sense.
And we were so lucky. Our traveling companion is his godmother, my friend Betsy, who is a special ed teacher with I don't know how many years, decades of teaching experience. And she was godsend to us because Chance loves her and he trusts her. And it's nice to have a buddy to back you up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Great. But if I can advise anybody, whether they have small children on the autism spectrum, whatever it is, you've got to let them sort of give you the lead.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, people spend, you know, probably the equivalent of a small country income for a year sometimes to go to Disney World, and they want to see everything and do everything, and this is the one time, and they get all wrapped up in that. And
Mm-hmm.
with somebody on the autism spectrum, I don't think that plan works.
Okay.
And you need to know that you can have just as much fun in the downtime at the resort visiting. We've had such great fun at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we always take at least 2 days just to go resort hopping. Sleep in,
Oh, okay.
take it slow, break away from the parks. And a lot of people take midday breaks, go back, they swim,
Mm-hmm.
but let everybody recharge and refuel.
Mm.
Especially for kids who are sensitive to sound and smell and crowds and
Mm-hmm.
noise. It can
Okay.
be very overwhelming. And to
Mm.
try to force your kid, your family member, no matter what age they are,
Mm-hmm.
if they have special needs, especially, it can be very tiring and overwhelming. And if you just follow their lead, don't force anything. Don't force them to go on rides that they're not ready for.
Okay.
You know, you'll have a much better experience overall. And I try to tell people the best thing that you can bring to Disney is a positive attitude.
Yes, of course.
You know?
Yeah, and Diane, so you were mentioning something about not forcing them on a ride that they're not ready. So isn't that kind of a bit of a catch-22? Because what if you know that they're going to be okay, but they don't know if they're going to be okay? You know what I mean? Like, how do
Well,
you get past that or introduce that?
I can tell you that for about 6 or 7 trips in a row, my son would get to the front door of the Haunted Mansion,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Nope, nope, not gonna go, not gonna go. And then
Oh,
when he was about 16, he turned to me and said, "Mama, I need to do this. I need to do this by myself. I want you to wait here. I'm going alone." And I went, "What?"
oh my, oh my. Wow.
And he ended up in a dune buggy with a woman just like me. So I don't know
Oh
what the
my
escape was.
gosh.
He ended up partying with a mom.
Oh,
So,
wow. That's so
but he
interesting.
was ready. He
Right.
was ready. And, he knew what the Haunted Mansion was. It
Mm-hmm.
was just too overwhelming. He did try.
Okay.
He got all the way up to the portico and said, "Mm-mm."
Okay.
And same kind of thing happened with Tower of Terror. He had to take the chicken exit.
Oh, I do that all
And
the time.
the same thing happened with Dinosaur in Animal
Oh,
Kingdom. And
okay.
then he would go on it, and they take the ride photo at the end, right? Or during
Right.
the ride. And
Right.
all you could see of Chance was his little hand gripping the handrail.
Oh, it was his head ducked
And no one
under.
does it by himself.
Oh,
Everybody develops at their own pace
okay.
and are ready for things at their own pace. And it's just so much better for everyone, the whole family, the person with on the spectrum or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just, you'll probably be back again. And you'll have an
Yeah.
entirely different experience. So,
Yeah, and I know that because I've known you for a little while now, that lines were a problem at one time, and I know that you have some maybe tips for people dealing with lines, because I mean sometimes those lines can be terribly long. I don't like lines myself, but and I tried to
well, don't
avoid them.
forget, of all the lines, the most harmless, peaceful ride in all of Disney World, the biggest meltdown my son ever had was in line for Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you never know.
Yeah.
And because, you can only do so much to try to calm somebody down, and there's
Mm-hmm.
people all around you.
Mm-hmm.
I just pull him out of the line and let him calm down at his own pace, and eventually we got back in line and went on it. It's
Wow.
more for there are things you can do. For us, the saving grace, other than he was with 2 people that he loved and trusted very much,
Mm-hmm.
was his Game Boy.
Okay.
And then he's now moved on to playing Pokemon Go with his godmother.
Oh, okay. I know all about that game. So that is kind of a distraction in line then, is that correct? So it's kind
Yes,
of
because then,
okay.
you can take them out of the thing that's kind of causing the irritation or,
Mm-hmm.
the upset, and refocus, and
Okay.
just, calmly be calm, be reassuring, say, we're going to get there in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and I
Okay.
also would also talk to people about using the DAS pass.
That's right. I was just going to
And
actually get on,
people,
and ask you that. So, please tell everybody what the DAS pass is. It's
okay,
DAS, right? Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
DAS is the Disney Disability Access Pass.
Okay.
And what it allots you is a non-expiring extra fast pass. So if you go to they're changing things now. I've read about in Magic Kingdom and in Hollywood Studios, they're doing what Disneyland did, where you don't have to go to the attraction to get the return time. But basically what you do is go to guest services.
Okay.
You do not have to tell them, my son is autistic. They
Okay.
just want to know how the pass would benefit your family member. You don't need to get nervous. If a
Okay.
parent is nervous about it, you can write down what you want to say. Say, my child or my family member gets very anxious when he gets crowded or smells or people might touch him.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll get it. And if they don't get it, if you should ever run into a cast member who doesn't understand,
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to ask for a lead or a manager or
Okay.
whatever. They're there to help you.
Okay.
They want you to have a great experience, and that's what Disney cast members are all about.
Okay.
But a lot of people get shy or too unassuming or afraid to ask for what they need. And, if your child is of a certain age or is nonverbal,
Mm-hmm.
we are their advocates.
Right.
And you know your child better than anyone. So
Right.
you know how they react to things. So anyway, you get your DAS pass, and please use it in conjunction with the fast passes.
Mm-hmm.
You set your fast pass times in the attractions that you want to go to, and say you're in Fantasyland.
Okay.
And you want to ride Seven Dwarfs, and you have a fast pass for that.
Mm-hmm.
But something nearby is another attraction when you go on, and so you make your DAS reservation for that. Now, if your family member is having a rough go of things, the good thing about having a DAS reservation is that they don't expire until you use it. Say they need to go to the restroom, or they're just having a tough time, or it's time to take a break. You don't, unlike the Fast Pass where there's like window of time where you need to show up, the DAS Pass allows you to take that break or whatever, and you can go half an hour later if you need to. But you cannot make another DAS reservation until you use the first one.
Oh, that's excellent. Oh, that's really well thought out. Oh my gosh. So now is that for that day, or I would assume, would it be for that day only, or?
No, the DAS lasts for the amount of time that you're there. Say you're there for a week, it'll be good for the week that you were there. You don't have to go every day and renew it. And once you're in the system, if you return again to Disney like we do, this year especially, I had Chance talk to the guest services person himself to advocate for himself. And of course, I was right behind him.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, he kept looking at me.
Yeah.
But, that's an important thing, too. I mean, in the development of all things magical with Disney, like I said before, I've seen him blossom in his social skills and his ability to approach people he doesn't know because he feels safe there.
Right, yeah.
And I want to tell people, please engage the cast members. They want you to have a good time.
Right.
And they are fabulous.
Yeah.
Which leads to the next question you were asking me, Kimberly, the difference between when he was younger and now.
Right.
When they were doing the switchover from the guest assistance pass, the first one that used to work as an automatic fast pass, everybody thinks it was a front of the line pass. It was not.
Okay.
You just went to the fast pass line because there was so much abuse of it because people go, oh, well, this is fabulous. I'm going to just go in there and show my kids.
Okay.
So that's why Disney had to change it. The first pass started around 2000.
Okay.
And I spoke to a friend of mine who used to work at the Disney Institute who also has an autistic son. And I said, is that the timeline around 2000? And he told me, yes, it was. And I guess Disney realized that they were getting so many guests, family members on the autism spectrum or ADHD or sensory processing disorder or all those similar things that makes it tough to be at Disney, that they needed to do something. But around 2014, they switched to the DAS pass.
Okay.
And so, like being the aggressive mom that I am, I wrote an email to Disney and ended up having an hour-long conversation with the person from guest services about how does this work, what do I say, blah, 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 blah. And they were fabulous.
Okay.
But I also noticed around that time that we were encountering cast members who weren't projecting that magic attitude that we all expect and know and love so well. And I thought, you know what? I wonder what the switch is. What do they feel about this? And so I said, yes, you know what we should do? We should approach cast members, and you can ask them for their autograph. And then we can say, hey, how do you feel about the accommodations, or how is the training for people, for cast members with dealing with public that have different needs or differently able or autistic and all those other things. And so that started conversation. And so every year that since 2014, when we've gone back, Chance has had his autograph book. And he's gone from the first year where he collected about 20 autographs to last 2018, 145.
Oh my gosh, in one go, 145 in one go.
No, in one trip. In one trip, 145 cast members. And the word.
Wow. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Diane, we've lost you for some reason now. Yeah, I guess I'm not too sure what's going on. I think we're going to just have to hang up and call her right back here again. Syria says that the cast members are trained to look for the puzzle pieces on clothing. So I would imagine then there's a special pin that would show a puzzle piece of some sort. I wanted to either ask Syria if you can let us know, or somebody can type that in. I'll also ask Diane, but we lost her, so we're just going to get her back here. I can hear it ringing. Unfortunately, you never know on a cell phone; it could drop.
Sorry, I missed your call. I'll call you back.
Okay, so we're just going to keep trying to call Diane. Oh, that's too bad. But, you know, I wanted to just let you know that Chance has done some amazing things and made some real, I guess, happy cast members in everybody they meets. Oh, hi, Diane. Sorry, you know what? You dropped. The call dropped for some reason.
Yeah, I know. And here I thought it was the best place for the call nursery.
Oh, no, that's okay. So, so what I wanted to do is I want to back up just a wee bit for a second before you tell us about Chance's experiences gathering these amazing autographs and interactions with the cast members. Because there's somebody on here that Syria, she said that the cast members are trained to look for a puzzle piece on the clothing. So is that a special pin that you get, or what is that? Do you know?
It can be, but we are not puzzle piece people.
Okay.
And I've never put Chance in an autism T-shirt.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's what I wanted.
No, he usually wears his "I Love Cast Members" T-shirt. And anytime we've ever made dining reservations or at the hotel reservation, we just alert people ahead of time.
Yes.
And when you approach an attraction, you say, "I need DAS pass return." They know what that's all about.
Okay.
So but everybody has their different way about it.
Right.
You don't have to wear a puzzle piece. But
Sure.
If you want to, go for it.
Gotcha. Okay. Just before we go on, wanted to welcome Todd, Sarah, and Toddy. And we are keeping Todd, everybody out there that is listening, please keep Todd in your prayers for speedy recovery. Just putting that out there to everybody. And as we go on, Diane, so now Chance started asking for these autographs. And so we lost you at the 145 mark. So was it in one vacation that you got 145, or is that a total?
Last year in 2018.
Oh, that's a lot of cast members.
I was talking about our friend, our cast member that we've known since he worked at the French Quarter, and then he transferred to studios. He's been on the cruise line, and now he's at the Poly, and we're Facebook friends. And I told him we were coming.
Yeah.
And we met him at the Poly, and he had the cast of the Luau dinner signed Chance's book.
Oh gosh, that is
So
amazing.
there was a good 20 autographs.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them in bulk, huh?
And another special place for us is Raglan Road. Now, some kids or people may find it too loud and noisy, but Chance loves Irish music, and we've gone 3 visits in a row, so we know the dancers, and they always take him up on stage, and we always get a great photo, and he's just always so thrilled. And we went to breakfast at the Contemporary, and I also have another Facebook friend who is a pastry chef. And we told them, well, we're going to the Wave for breakfast on this day. And 15 pastry chefs came out and sang happy birthday, presented him with a special cupcake, and all 15 of them signed his book. And then the rest of the cast at the Wave, all the servers and chefs, said, well, we're not going to be outdone by that. And they signed his book too.
I love that. That is so amazing. You know what I think is just so brilliant about that whole thing is that, well, you're just, I mean, what you're doing for Chance, you are also doing for the cast members, because cast members don't get asked to have their autographs, right?
Great.
Yeah.
The reactions that we get, because we do it for everybody. We've got custodians and security people and, ride ops people and servers and you name it, any cast member that's not a princess or, a character, although he's gotten those too.
Right,
but he really concentrates and he always says, may I have your autograph? Thank you for bringing them magic.
Oh, isn't that lovely? And you were saying before that you have, because I've never seen a t-shirt. Now, did you get special t-shirts? The I love cast members, is it? Is that what
yes, ma'am. You can get them online.
Oh, you can? Oh.
Yes. We got ours. There's a Facebook and travel group called Shipping Company.
Okay.
And they're the ones that it's just the eye and the heart and cast members.
I love it.
Then I took their graphic and I also made homemade buttons for us to wear on our lanyards.
Oh, I love it.
The cast members they're gobsmacked. They're like, what? And they're always just so tickled. And it's like when you think about what cast members do for everybody, and they really are there to make sure your experience is the best it can be.
Right.
That's been our experience. But like I said, go in with that attitude. Talk to them. They're there to help you.
Yeah.
And it's just never failed.
I love that. That is so good because, especially to have a family member that is not very social, what an awesome opportunity to put themselves out there and engage, I think that's wonderful. I had a quick question actually about I'm going back to DAS Pass because I don't know if anybody else has this question, but I certainly do. So when I had wondered about the expiration of it, so I know it lasts the whole vacation time, but if you are, say you book Soarin' or something like that on March 30th, would that then expire March 30th, or is it carried over until you get there? Like
you can only make your gas reservation at the park. So I would say you get a fast pass for Soarin'.
Gotcha.
And then say you wanted to do test track, you go to test track and say, can we have a gas
Okay.
reservation?
And so the only place to get a DAS Pass is at the guest services, which there's one in each park. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that you can get it at Disney Springs, and there's been a little chit-chat about that.
Okay.
It's been our experience that they always get asked to be given at the park.
Okay. Makes sense.
I would also like to, the question that I read all the time is people say, well, the reason they can't ask you, the cast members can't ask you about your diagnosis and this and that is because of HIPAA.
Right.
It is not because of HIPAA. It is not because of HIPAA.
Oh.
It is because of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Because if you would take your family with a disabled family member to Disney Paris, you would have to bring documentation. And that is because they are in Europe. They have a similar situation that you would have to bring it there.
Gotcha.
But at the
Okay.
American parks, that is why they cannot ask.
Oh, okay.
Because
Very interesting.
it's a civil rights violation under the ADA.
Wow. Okay. That is so good to know because I know, you know what, Diane, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, people are going to the parks and they are maybe afraid to ask for that privilege. And it's a necessity, really. It's part of providing for your family the best possible experience, right? And I think
It's an available accommodation that no one
excellent.
should be afraid to ask
Right.
for.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that, you know, people there, I've heard people also say that, you know, they've got young children, and they're afraid to bring them. And you know, okay, so Chance was 8 years old, but I'm talking about even younger. And I think I'll leave that question maybe for my next guest, because I just think that, I mean, there's different variations of the spectrum, of course, and you know your child the best, but I really think overall what you have said about taking those quiet moments and going to the resorts and having some time in the resorts, you know, I think
I
is
highly,
yeah,
highly
yeah,
recommend Animal Kingdom Lodge.
yeah. I love the resorts, you know, and you know, when you stay at the resorts, often you don't have a chance to spend a lot of time. And I know when our kids were little, we'd go like 2 full days, you know, nonstop at Disney, and then we take a day off, which was really a nice way of
Right.
doing it. But I know there's times that, you know, we've taken sort of midday out of the equation and just to relax. But Diane, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and explaining things and giving us some tips and ideas. I didn't know if you had anything else to share with us, but
I just have one piece of advice for
okay.
parents and people with family members.
Sure.
No matter where you are in the world, there are going to be people who look at you or your child or your family, whoever, it's an adult, even, you know, an adult family member who's differently abled or whatever, and give you that look or make some stupid rude comment or try to take away your joy. Don't let them take away your joy.
Okay.
Remember, you're never going to see these people again.
Right.
You are there to have the very best time and to do the very best for your family. Remember that you can't possibly see everything in one trip. Relax and enjoy it, and don't let anybody steal it from you.
Awesome. Really wise words. Thank you so much, Diane. Say a big hello and a hug to Chance for me. And you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And thank you again so much.
Thanks for the opportunity, Kimberly. I'm going to run in and get back on my computer and see if I can hear the rest of it.
Okay. Okay, take care.
Thanks so much, Kimberly.
You're welcome. Bye. You know, I just really, you know, yeah, Toddy goes, you should never let anyone take your joy, period. Absolutely. You know, something that, you know, we've all been in the parks and we've seen children of various ages, you know, just having a bit of a meltdown. And I know that it's hard on parents. It's hard on the children, you know, when things like that happen. So if anything from this show, I hope that you can be maybe a little extra compassionate, you know, to families that have children that are either on the spectrum or just having a meltdown period, because it is tough and they need our compassion, not our kind of our looks of you know, rolled eyes or whatever. You know, they really need our support, because, you know, we're all there to have a good time, and everybody has their moments, you know. Anyways, I want to get on with my next guest for the night, Michelle McKeown, who has 2 children, and I am going to, we're going to ring her up right now and just see what she can offer us. Oh, we've got some, we're just waiting to connect with her at the moment. So Michelle, if you're watching, if you can pick up, we've got, we're going to get her on the line, but she's also specializes with special needs. And I want to find out what that exactly means, because she does provide vacations. She's a vacation planner with this specialized area. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm good. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on. And there's you probably heard our first guest, but something that I think you have two children, but I'm not sure if they're both on the spectrum and what kinds of tips you can add to this program with both both your children, and if you can tell us a little bit about them.
Absolutely. So, both of my children are not on the spectrum. My
Okay.
older son is Ethan, and he is 8 years old, and he has probably the most difficulties. Right now, we're actually going through the process of an ADOS test, which is the diagnosis of autism. So
Oh,
he
okay.
he has autism-like qualities, which I know is a great buzzword for all of my moms out there. Nothing is nobody wants to have a label,
Mm-hmm.
but when somebody says you have something like, that's not satisfying either.
Right. Right.
My other son, he's speech delayed, so there is some communication. He does have some physical issues like lack of coordination, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly speech delay.
Okay. So now when you go to Disney, is there something that you could relate to our audience about how you do it? Because you guys go at least once a year, right? To the parks?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do go at
Okay.
least once a year,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to tell you, for us, the DAS Pass is a large blessing.
Okay.
Um, I particularly, I think that I noticed the greatness of it was my kids. I always took them to Disney princess meals, and we were going to Akershire in
Mm.
Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And so my older son, who was probably, I think, 5 years old at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it was a hot day. You have to wait a little bit, just to
Mm-hmm.
walk up. And as we got right there to get seated, he
Mm-hmm.
had a meltdown
Oh.
right there. And
Mm.
meltdowns make people, after the meltdown, they're exhausted. So
Ah.
it's like they give themselves their own consequences. And his consequence was, and this is a very short line,
Mm-hmm.
his consequence was that he slept through the whole experience. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So that's what the difference it makes for us, even though that was a short line.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's older now, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and these things still do happen.
Right.
So the gas is so amazing because we are a family who are not able to stand in lines for long periods of time. So
Mm-hmm.
the gas pass gives us that virtual queue line. So that really
Nice.
does make sense for us.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I think too, if you have a child that wants to rest because they physically are exhausted, then you let them rest, right? You don't just poke them awake or whatever kind of to experience what you had wanted them to experience, right? Like you just kind of leave them be, and is that
With certainty. Yes.
okay?
In
Okay.
fact, you can actually leave the park. So if I had an active gas pass
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I am in Magic Kingdom, we stay a lot on the monorail. That's a big thing for us too. My son had problems watching the fireworks, so we'd stay theme park view on the monorail, fast as
Oh.
we could go. So other good tips. If you had a fast pass maybe for the Jungle Cruise, but it wasn't working out,
Mm-hmm.
I could leave the park with that active gas pass,
Okay.
and I could go back to my resort. He could rest, and we could come back before the close and still use it.
Oh, excellent. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now you said something about the monorail. Now, do you just ride the monorail around in the lovely air conditioned and you see everything going on? Is that what you do sometimes, or
Yes, that's a lovely way
oh,
to
wow.
experience it because the monorail, and I would venture to say that my son can say that the doors are opening and closing in Spanish,
Oh.
although we don't speak Spanish because he's very smart at details.
Okay.
Um, but yes, getting in the monorail, it's a nice soothing place. And even though chaos is going on outside, you
Mhm.
have your own confined little spot. So it's nice
Oh.
break from a lot of people for us in the monorail.
That's something every time I'm on the monorail because you're either trying to get somewhere or trying to leave quickly. I did think about, gosh, wouldn't it be nice just to sit here for a while and go around? And I have heard people bringing some young ones, and they'll ride the monorail for like an hour before they even go into the park. And so I think that's a great idea. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Ah,
And
good.
you know what? The other thing I think is a good trick that we learned is noise canceling headphones.
Okay.
So my younger one, who has a speech delay, also has very sensitive ears. And that's why we got the theme park view, because you could see the fireworks. It's the only way you could experience. One day I came across these and never thought about it. These noise canceling headphones, which ours only cost about $15.
Okay.
And this is just happily ever after. So just recently. And we were standing in the middle of Main Street, and I was holding him in my arms, and I said, "Look, Emmett, we're gonna watch the fireworks." And he turned and looked at me and said, "For real, mommy?" And I started to
Oh,
cry. And that's
wow.
the difference, that some of these tricks that we can teach people and how to, maneuver the parks a little easier
Yeah.
is very valuable.
Oh, I love it. Oh gosh. Yeah, and you do see well, I know I see the noise canceling headphones. I used to see them Irish dance competitions on babies, but I think that is just it's a very easy fix to sort of that, like too much noise, to that stimulation, too much of that. I think that's awesome. Gosh, Michelle. And $15, that's really great. You're not spending hundreds of dollars on noise canceling headphones, right?
Yeah.
Ah, good. So Michelle, I've told people that you have a specialization as a vacation planner in special needs. So what does that exactly entail? Like what makes what you offer, saying that you specialize in special needs, versus somebody else that, I shouldn't say just a vacation planner, but you know what I mean? Like that, what is that? What does that mean exactly? Can you tell us?
Right. So the difference between when someone has a family with a special needs member,
Mm-hmm.
opposed to like a neurotypical family,
Mm-hmm.
part of it is that experience that you have. I am also a school nurse, so I know a lot about medical. If you tell me about something that's going on with your child, it's
Mm.
easy for me to kind of match the puzzle pieces together, as to say,
Mm.
oh, my child has a feeding tube. Where can I go when they need to have their meal? So there are
Oh,
places, and would you know where to go?
right.
But that's the difference. We also, with everybody, send the maps with an itinerary before they travel.
Okay.
So, yeah, so, we can, I actually send out disability access maps. So there are special maps
Oh.
that you can get, and it'll show you the other things like rest stops for dogs.
Oh, wow.
Yes, the
That's so
map. Yeah.
cool.
Yes, the map will show you where you can take your dog for a rest stop.
Mm.
So we send these ahead of time. We have tips and tricks that we put in our itineraries for families that will tell you, beware, this ride will blow some, air on the back of your neck. And for
Mm.
some of our kids, that will set them off. So
Right.
easy solution. Just wear a hoodie. All right. So for some of us, we
Ah,
can just, hey, put your hoodie on.
right.
We're going through. It's going to shoot some air at you. So you're going to put your
Ah.
hoodie on. Yeah, we also tell them how to escape, so if things get so crowded, here are
Mm.
your quiet places in the park. And
Mm.
it's not always the most evident one.
Okay.
Sometimes it's go down the side street right here,
Love
So
it.
we definitely take that personal approach to get to know our family so that we can serve them the
Mm.
best.
Wow, that is fantastic. It's things that, I mean, I don't have a service dog. I'd love to bring one of my little dogs with me, but I won't, of course. But I just think that's, I think that's great, to have all that information. And, I know that there are warnings. Well, I mean, there's height restrictions for rides, or they'll say motion sickness or pregnant women or whatever. Not that there wouldn't be other women, who's not pregnant, that's a woman. But anyways, they give warnings, health warnings like that, heart conditions, that kind of thing. But you don't know about those other things, the puffs of smoke, or puffs of air, or, if it's 4D, I call it 4D because, if you get water squirt in your face, right? I think that's really brilliant. You guys must have spent a lot of time figuring that out, because we have new attractions all the time, and to just give those tips and tricks, I think, is absolutely fantastic, Michelle. Gosh.
Thanks. Yeah, and I have to give credit to our whole team. Years of experience, they are an amazing team. I could not do what I do without them. They are my puzzle piece that helps me help other people.
Nice. Oh, that's so wonderful. Gosh, thank you so much, Michelle. And if anybody wants to find Michelle, again, you can find her at MMC KEOWN at themouseexperts.com, and she would be very happy to help you plan your vacation. And don't be scared to go on vacation with somebody on the spectrum, or somebody that has extra special needs or attention, because they deserve to enjoy it as well. And there are ways that you can definitely do that. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you coming on, because, putting a couple of you guys on, definitely we've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and I can't wait to share that with people. People always ask me about the Disney vacations. I'm sure you guys that are, the Disney fans watching, that you get asked to, for tips and tricks for a Disney vacation. But now I will definitely know how to address some of those other things that deal with children, whether they're on the spectrum or not. So thank you again, and have a wonderful night, Michelle. We'll talk to you soon, and I can't wait for our vacation.
Me neither. Have a great night.
Thanks. Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh gosh, before I go, I just wanted to welcome Cheryl Ann onto the show, and my friend Sarah Ancelotti. I have to just I'm so glad to see you, Sarah. I just want to tell you this really quick story, because I don't know about you guys, but as a Disney fan, I tend to spot anything Mickey, anything whatever. And actually, last week I was at a funeral, and there's a lady that came to sit down beside me. And those peekaboo shirts? Well, I spotted a Mickey tattoo and with a Cinderella castle. And I know it's a funeral. I mean, it was before everything started. And we actually started chatting. And here it was, she'd known the person that had passed away for 40 years. She was the hairdresser. And as a matter of fact, this woman makes mini ears, really cute mini ears. And she's actually making me a pair for our trip in a couple weeks. So, but going back to Sarah, I was in a retail outlet several years ago now, and I pulled up my phone case. I just changed my phone case up to R2D2, because I'm writing the Star Wars impact on people's lives, and just couldn't resist R2D2. Love that little droid. And anyway, so she commented on I thought she was just another customer there. It ended up that she was one of the managers. And at that time, I just gotten the mock-up of the cover of my very first Disney book. And I was so so excited. And I went and showed her. And then she shared with me that she was actually a former Disney cast member. That Sarah, you worked in Hollywood Studios. And I'm trying to remember the other place where you worked. Sarah, if you're still on here, tell me. I can't remember where else you worked. But it was so fun. And we've become friends. We go for coffee when we are able to. And she's right in my neck of the woods. So you never know who you're going to meet. I just see that Syria is saying that the local sheriff's offices also have a device called Project Lifesaver. If you have a child, that likes to run off, it is an AM FM transmitter that they can use to find the child. It works at the Disney World and Disneyland parks. That is really excellent information. Thank you so much, Syria. So you can go to your local sheriff's office to get the device. It's called Project Lifesaver. I think that is absolutely wonderful. Welcome to Mary Wells, by the way, that just joined us. Sirius says, my daughter had one, and it was a huge relief knowing that we would be able to find her if she got lost, since my daughter is nonverbal and it's free. Holy cow. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, isn't it such it would be so terrifying to lose your child in the crowd, especially if they're nonverbal. I mean, any child that is running off and in a crowd like that makes it very, very difficult to find them, and vice versa for them to find you, because they're all, all they see are legs, and everybody's legs and shorts are the same, right? So that is such awesome information. Thank you, Sirius, so much for that. Again, Project Lifesaver, that you can go to your local sheriff's office and they can provide you with that. And if anybody's on here that's from Canada, I mean, I'm Canadian, but I live in the US now, I'd be very curious to know if they have something like that in Canada. And I would definitely call your local department, RCMP department, or city police, to see if they would have something like that. For any of you guys that have joined late tonight or whatever, this has just been an amazing plethora of information. I'm so grateful for Diane and for Michelle sharing their all their tips and tricks. I know there's more out there, but I just really appreciate them taking the time. This show will be uploaded momentarily when we finish here, because I'm going to wrap up. Just also a little note, Sirius said that it's also for anyone who wanders, older people with dementia. So gosh, that's an amazing device, and very grateful I live in this era of technology. So good stuff. Thanks, Sirius, so much. And thank you guys for spending the time with me tonight. And I will see you next week. So for now, you guys be safe, take care, and all the best for you, and especially my friend Todd for a speedy recovery. Take care. Bye. Take care. Bye.